Liberal Democrats in San Francisco did something unusual this week. They revolted against woke, coercive progressivism and recalled 3 school board members, Allison Collins, Gabriela Lopez, and Fauga Maliga, by a landslide.
Let's face it, nobody in San Francisco is going to go vote for a Republican anytime soon, but they certainly are letting the school board know that what has happened for these last couple of years hasn't been okay.
The recall came about over parents and Liberals' frustration over what they view as a school board focused on social justice issues rather than reopening classrooms.
It's not about having a progressive or moderate or a liberal idea. It's about my kid used to be a kid that was social and fun and is now quiet and sad and doesn't smile.
Despite pressure from the mayor and Joe Biden, the school board, at the behest of the teachers' union, kept schools shut throughout the 2020 school year.
Why do you think so many public schools across this country are still closed in places that the private schools are open?
Yeah, I'll give you a word. Money.
Mr. Klein's not wrong. In San Francisco, high school students returned to class for just one day last May, so that schools would qualify for $12 million in funds that Governor Gavin Newsom had dangled for reopening. But one of parents' biggest frustrations was the Board of Education's vote to cancel the names of 44 schools with what they perceived as sexist or racist appellations.
What I want to assure people is this in no way cancels or erases history, but it does shift from, again, upholding them and honoring them. And these opportunities is a great way to have that conversation about our past.
Except, as is so often the case with progressives, there was very little, if any, discussion.
Instead of just a small group of people deciding for the rest of the school district, community members, parents, and people from schools, even students, should be in that room discussing whether they should get their name changed for that school.
Next up for school board members was a push to end selective admissions at the competitive Lowell High School. You see, Asians make up more than half of Lowell students, which the board's progressives believed was unfair.
This is the cream of the crop. These are students who, because of either socioeconomic situations, cannot afford a private school education, but they have worked really hard in order to earn their spots here.
By now, many parents had already voted against the board by pulling their kids out of school. But will decision makers get the message?
I definitely think renaming schools and looking at the history of some of these names is important. But the problem was the clear communication around when schools would open, the fact that those issues weren't put front and center and solutions weren't focused on there. It wasn't about progressive or liberal. Local school board elections aren't usually national harbingers, but San Francisco's revolt might be an exception. After all, there's been a similar reaction from parents in other states, such as Virginia.
The garbage workers who pick up my freaking trash risk their lives every day, more than anyone in this school system.
There, parents helped Glenn Youngkin win the Virginia State House in November. 2 years of COVID shutdowns and what we've learned about political indoctrination in schools has parents mobilizing to send a message.
Figure it out! Or get off the podium! Because you know what? There are people like me and a lot of other people out there who will gladly take your seat and figure it out!